Hey, 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 hey. Hey, it's my favorite people. We're live, everybody. And I got a green hat on today, and I've got a green screen magical mystery tour. So that's my hemp fest. And it's all made out of hemp, and you can see the fabric there. I was told this week, everybody, about hemp. This is today we're supposed to have hempreneur and Chris Boucher, and he's in the field today with some people from somewhere, Afghanistan, Czechostan, Marijuanistan, wherever they're from. He's there today, so he's going to try to come on with his camera. I mean, with his phone. They're in the field. They're growing acres upon acres of this around the globe. It's fantastic. They're doing Thailand these days. I just, I can't get mad at my folks down in Portland, but I'm 3 hours away, and they just had 100 researchers there, and I could have driven down, but my car blew a head gasket, so I couldn't have really driven down. So everything happens for a reason. I'm on my way to Peru, everybody, to do some other plant medicine journeys and start my new film called Through My Lens, The Plant Medicine Way, the way I see it. So I'm going to tell my story. I'm going to be able to film the shamans and do a little bit of that kind of research with my camera and my experience. There's many movies made about marijuana, about Dr. Machulam, and everybody's got their own take on what marijuana does for you, what ayahuasca does for you, what ibogaine does for you. And it's all important. But if we don't tell it in our way, then the legacy gets diluted, and we still have to suck into freedom of speech, banter, and protest. And instead of that, I'm going to Peru, everybody, in 2 weeks. So here we go. And it's WEEDSDAY. Welcome, Lenswoman and Vivian McPeak. It's so great to have you today. I text a million people, and we get a couple people, sometimes none, and I just show parts of my movie, and I want to collaborate and cooperate. This incredible. I wrote here. I'll read you what I wrote today to my boys and my in my fantasy basketball league today. I said, I remember the draft and asking why they're all into war. After the Vietnam Memorial Wall was here for a week on tour, I met so many veterans who had PTSD and even Agent Orange. For years, I thought, why do young people buy into war and being paid for busting heads of their peers? Sunday football is brutal enough, so popular. Call me a hippie, but I think the merry pranksters have been the true and best answer forever. Wooden ships on the water and teach the children well. In the Hebrew school, we were taught never to hate. I still have hope, even though it feels very extreme right now. Be kind and make art, not war. I'm currently confused, but I have a glimmer of hope and optimism. Be well, brothers and family. Have a good draft, because we're getting ready to draft for fantasy basketball team of 21 years. We've been doing this, all bunch of Jews, and I said, have a good draft, everybody. Oops, I said that word again, draft. So in my intro here, everybody, it's really important to speak your truth. Write your book. We have Lenswoman there. She got to meet Bob Marley, and I smoked a cigarette with David Bowie once at Punana Souk, or Flaming Colossus, actually, downtown LA. And it's all beautiful, but unless we leave something written behind. Vivian works with a beautiful marijuana magazine, and that tells the story. So every morning, take time out on the throne and, loosen your load. I got 7 women on my mind, and read something. Read Skunk Magazine. Read Lenswoman. So that's my pitch for the day. Welcome aboard, everybody. And we'll start ladies first. Kim, tell everybody how you're doing, and you're counting up the awards. Tell us your last accolade, and welcome.
Oh, thanks, Jeff. Gosh, Lenswoman in Love has won about a dozen awards now, so it's
recording in progress.
It's won about a dozen awards, so I've been it's hard to keep up with them all. But I'm going to be making a public appearance coming up this Saturday at a gallery in South Pasadena called Sugarmint, and okay. They carry up the stuff that I shot on Halloween and Halloween 2. And with that holiday coming up, they're having a big celebration, and they're having a meet and greet with me on Saturday. So if anybody's in South Pasadena on Saturday, October 11th, come out and see me.
Did you ever meet Chucky?
That's not the Halloween series.
I keep seeing like in feeds, like Chucky's back, It's like you can't kill Chucky, So.
Halloween is Michael Myers. And the gallery is right behind the Myers house that was used in the movie.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Lots of pilgrims who come to the house, and then all they have to do is walk behind it, and there's the little gallery that has my art prints and posters and stuff. So.
Well, cool. That's really great. So everybody, this is our beautiful, sometimes co-host Kim Gottlieb Walker, and her husband got to be around, and her son, who was 3 years old and knew every song and like thrilled Bob Marley. So give us just one Bob Marley story before we get into our intro and talk to Vivian for a second.
Well, Bob didn't like to pose, and as a photographer, he tolerated me just, hanging out and documenting things. But I had to photograph him for the cover of High Times magazine, and that he was all on board for. He was very excited about that. We did it in West Hollywood. It was a couple of blocks from a police station, and we had our almost 3-year-old with us who considered himself a Rasta, knew every cut on every reggae album that had been released in the United States, and Bob got a tremendous kick out of him. So I have pictures, not just the High Times cover, which was their most popular cover ever, but I have a great picture of Bob sitting at a coffee table piled high with weed, and my son in his little yellow Rasta cap is right at the end of the table. And he's now 50 years old. He's got that on his wall.
It's so amazing. The Pink Floyd, I was writing about Pink Floyd this week also. They had an album called The Division Bell. There's such a line between the color of your skin and the sexuality of your LGBTQ, all that stuff is just so extreme right now. So it's really wonderful that that we're going to have a dialogue today a little bit about hemp, about the wonders of hemp, the goodness of hemp, and what's happening to the industry. So we talk about a little bit that marijuana and hemp remitigate the soil when you plant it. It actually puts good stuff into the soil, and it helps the carbon in the air. So why not grow millions of acres? Why not make it, a cash crop and help the budget so the government doesn't shut down? But in the meantime, we got people in jail still. That's what this show's about, and I'm going to do the best I can. And maybe Paul Stanford will come in today. He just posted a few minutes ago that there was 100 scientists in Portland, and I missed that. But it's okay. I'm not missing anything. I got you two here. And thank you, Kim, for all you do and for your accolades and writing your book. Vivian wrote a book also. Tell us a little bit about 30 Years of HempFest. And welcome. And welcome.
Thanks. I just want to, give a hats off to Kim for her awesome body of work that 60s and 70s really defined my being, and I think was the greatest 20 years of music and culture and spiritual renaissance that America's certainly ever seen. and sadly, I don't think it'll ever be repeated. But who knows? Who knows? There's plenty of initiative lately, impetus to respond to crazy things in a beautiful way, like happened in the '60s. Yeah, I have a book called Protestable, a 20-year retrospective of Seattle Hemp Fest. We put it out on the 20th anniversary of Hemp Fest, which was 2011, and it's got I think it's got 360 pictures in it, and every chapter is a year. So it's got 20 chapters. It covers the first 20 years, and the first page of every chapter is a full-page glossy reproduction of the poster from that year. Sure, I've got it sitting right here somewhere. Yeah, and it was kind of cool. Everybody has a story, but not everybody gets to tell their story. And so it was really cool for me to have that opportunity, both to tell my story and also the story of the hundreds of people that were in the HempFest core group and the many, literally over 10,000 people who wore a staff shirt over the years, and the 1,000 bands that played at it, on and on and on. And the thousands of guest speakers that we had from all over the country and other countries to talk about hemp and cannabis freedom and prohibition and civil rights and human rights.
And you ain't shit if there's somebody left in jail for cannabis, right?
Well, it's funny you bring that up. And of course you're going to bring that up because you're the relief guy, right? I always thought that legalization meant nobody's in jail or prison for cannabis anymore, right? To me, legalization didn't mean you had a store and you go down, you buy an ounce of weed and you drive off. You don't have to look in the rearview mirror because the police aren't behind you, which is a great thing. I'm not against that in any way or shape or form, but that's commoditization to me. That's not legalization. And so there's still 40,000 people serving time in jails and prisons, and I think more than a dozen serving life sentences still.
Way more. Yeah. I mean, it's not retro. I mean, what the heck, my grandmother would smoke weed if she had it or use it on her joints.
There's people buying a second and third house based on they're selling weed legally, while there's people in prison for selling weed. I mean, it's madness, right? And as we all know that hemp was federally legalized under the 2018 Farm Bill, industrial, non-psychoactive, non-euphoric hemp, so long as it doesn't contain any more than 0.3 delta 9 THC by dry weight. But there's a concerted effort to ban hemp-derived THC products in various states across the country, and I think California has banned it outright. And there's also a concerted effort. 9 red states right now are trying to roll back legalization entirely. And so it just goes to prove that when it comes to civil rights and human rights.
Chris told me Ohio rolled back yesterday.
Not surprising. When it comes to civil rights and human rights, there's no victory and then you're done. It's a constant, endless struggle that will be going on forever. You always have to assert the struggle for democracy, for justice, for freedom, for free speech. It's an ongoing effort. It'll never stop. So you can't rest. It's eternal vigilance and eternal diligence. Thank you. And so and of course we're getting all of that rubbed in our face right now as we find ourselves in a catastrophic struggle to preserve our democracy, rule of law, and our representative democratic republic here in America, and actually democracies all over the world. So it's all related. It's all one thing. There's only one struggle. It's the same struggle everybody's been fighting since the beginning of civilization.
And everybody in California needs to vote yes on 50 so that we can counter what Trump's doing, trying to steal the next election. So
you mean he wants to be emperor or king forever?
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
No doubt about it.
No doubt about it.
The emperor wears no clothes.
Yeah. That's a horrible image.
Oh man, my eye, my inner eye has sinned. I need to gouge it out.
Well, I'm going to take care of that for you all when I go down to film the ayahuasca movie. Begin with the shamans. We're all shaman and shawomans. We're all hopefully, God, taking what we've learned and moving it forward through music, through food. I read something in my rabbi book on my morning reading yesterday, and it said you can buy, let's say, for example, a burrito or a knish, and um, and then you can eat it and not feel anything. But when your wife comes to you and said, "I made this for you," that food has the intention of the pure love that was put into it. So all the energy that we're talking about, bringing the prisoners home, everybody, and the intentional union that Bob Marley spoke about in one love, one heart, let's get together and feel all right, three little birds, all that stuff is so important. I had a misguided conversation last night with a friend of mine, and it was about communication. So I believe everybody, you're hearing it from me, that it's important to be intentional with what you say, the food you make, and like this show, this is food for the universe. If we say free the prisoners on this show, all of us at once, okay, 1 2 3, let's say free the prisoners, 1 2 3, free the prisoners. So that's in the universe, that's been spoken. The shamans talk about it. You can't tell me why those giant stones that are 45 million tons were carved and fit exactly into place and make a pyramid. You can't tell me about a crop circle, anybody, how it was made. It's not cardboard with a college students making sacred geometry in a mile circumference that's beautiful. From the sky, you look down on it and it even says something. These are crop circles, everybody. Here's a photograph I made. If you can see it, let's see here. No, you can't. Well, anyways, there's a photograph I made, and it's a cosmic, rendition of. Here, let me take my green screen off for a second. Hang on. We'll get green screen off for a second. Boom. Okay, green screen, go away, green screen. Hang on. So, boom, hang on.
If you just hold it against your body, we'll probably be able to see it.
Yeah, hang on. I just lost every screen here. Hang on. Hang on.
Everybody make sure you're registered to vote.
Yeah.
There are a lot of states where there is scrubbing the rolls and taking people off who are legitimate voters. So make sure you are registered to vote and vote.
So it's very interesting. Hang on. Okay. So anyways, so this photograph that I made here, it's still even fluorescing. But anyways, this photograph I made here is a cosmic order of sacred geometry, and I believe that that's how we're going to be. The flower of life, Dr. Emoto prayed on the water, and then he taught children for 30 years that the water has memory. And so it's the intentions that we do, that we have. And so I'm into it, and I'm happy. Let's see if I can get you guys back here. No, my computer's frozen, but we're still going. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Well, we can't do that because I've got other programs here. Let's see what happened. Why my photography, why everything is frozen.
We can see you. We can see all three of us.
Yeah, no, I know, but I can't hang on. So hang on. This is very, very strange here. So hang on. On my side, it's strange. Okay, so I'm just gonna talk to everybody and have the broadcast like this here. Who just came in?
Jeff, Chris just came in, if you can't see.
Okay, hang on. I can't see anybody. I'm going to try to loosen up my computer here. My
And
computer.
what Kim was saying about check your voter registration, because there's massive purges going on of tens of thousands of voters in various states. You can go to vote.org and check your current registration status at vote.org at any time. And I would make sure I did it within 2 months of the election if possible, and then maybe even again, because the strategy is to purge people at the last minute so they barely have enough time to re-register. It's one of many devious, underhanded strategies that are being employed to disrupt.
Is that like gerrymandering?
Well, it's gerrymandering is another strategy. Redistricting is another devious strategy, which is, and some blue states are fighting back. You know, we have to, unfortunately, we're forced to have to use their tactics, or we're not going to win. You know, if you're in a crooked card game and you play square and fair, you're going to lose. And so,
Yeah, you got to fight fire with fire this time.
unfortunately, you do. Yep, that's just our reality. And don't squeeze the shaman.
Well, I'm going to see the shaman. I'm
We're all on
going.
a shamanic journey. You know, anybody can invoke their shaman. Jack Herer, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., they were shaman, you know, and even shaman eat ramen.
Even shaman eat ramen. Okay, hang on. I'm going to try to relaunch my Finder, see if I can get this to come back.
Well, you've got two more people on. You've got Chris Boucher and you've got Jeannie.
Okay, hang on. So I am in trouble here, everybody. I don't see anybody. So hang on. It's very peculiar. Hang on. So I can't. Yeah, my computer is totally frozen. I'm trying to make a corporate decision what to do here. Hang on just a minute so I can get back. Chris Boucher, are you on?
I'm here. I'm out in my fields right now, and yeah, well, in the last hemp field in San Diego County.
So tell us a little bit. Who did we lose? Did we lose Jeannie?
She was here. She was sharing a whiteboard and then she disappeared.
Okay. So anyway, so everybody, we'll talk to Chris for a minute, everybody, and all you people out there in Weedland, Jeff Ike in Weedland. We've got some beautiful people on, but we can't see them today. We can just see me because my computer's frozen. I'm going to unfreeze my computer in a second, but in the meantime, let's deal with Boucher, Chris, and tell us a little bit about what you know about Ohio and the backlash of the hemp industry. What's going on in the hemp industry?
Do you really want me to tell you? It is basically the hemp industry was infiltrated by a bunch of charlatans, con men, hemp THC bros. They've taken a word, linguistic. Actually, Jack Herer always taught us linguistics is the key to everything, word power. So there's a word called derived in the federal law, hemp derived. So what's happened is across the whole country, you've got Cheech and Chong, Snoop Dogg, you've got, I'm just calling these guys out because they're the most famous, and there's hundreds of them. They're cooking CBD in a lab with different chemicals, and they make THC.
Is that Delta 9? Delta 9?
They make Delta 9, they make Delta 8, they make HHOC. It's a bathtub, you know. I mean, people say, well, it really isn't. And they're cooking CBD isolate. Once you get CBD isolate, which is a pharma grade, which a lot of companies use, if you know what you're doing, you can convert it in a lab with chemicals to THC. So it's still legal. It's called derived. You derived it from a legal hemp product. And they're infusing, hang on, they're infusing like gummies and and drinks with, 10, 20, 30 milligrams of THC. And they sell it everywhere, gas stations, convenience stores. And it's caused a huge backlash. And for instance, in California, Gavin Newsom just signed one of the worst hemp laws in the history of California last week, AB 8, an 82-page hemp law that basically outlaws any detectable form of THC in any product sold in any store. So basically, they're saying you can only use CBD isolate, and you can only sell 5 servings of hemp isolate CBD in a package. And then he's converted hemp, and he's going to rename it in California to marijuana. And what he's done, and again, I get it with the marijuana bros. You own a dispensary, you've paid $1 million for your dispensary, and Snoop Dogg and Cheech and Chong are across the street selling 20 and 30 milligram gummies in a gas station or a convenience store with no license, no regulation, no compliance. But rather than just nuclear bomb the whole industry, they could have regulated it where the federal law is 0.3% THC, which equals 2.5 milligrams of THC. So that's the federal law. But what he did was he renamed hemp to become marijuana, and he's giving it to all the marijuana dispensaries and to grow hemp and sell it in the marijuana system.
So are they using the excuse that 7-Eleven is giving access to children?
No, they're basically saying any cannabinoid from the hemp plant is now marijuana. And you hemp people can have your fiber and you can have your seed. However, the future is going to be dual crop and multi-crops, where if you're growing a fiber crop, the farmer might be able to extract, a couple $100 worth of CBD per acre. That's how they do it in Europe. The Europeans are a little bit ahead of us, but so they basically have changed or deemed all cannabinoids marijuana here in California. And then yesterday, the governor of Ohio did the same thing. And what you have now is.
Do you think they talk to each other and that they're partnershiping and maybe even branding together?
Who?
The Ohio governor and Newsom, people like that.
Oh, yeah, the whole country's following this. They're all following this, the governors, because anyone can go buy hemp THC across the country, usually most states, and like I said, a gas station or a convenience store. And it's come in handy in some places like Texas, where marijuana is illegal and you go to prison for it. You're able to get high with hemp there, and so you get a lot of rednecks and cowboys that are like, we want our hemp THC, do not take it away from us. And that's why Governor Abbott about a month ago vetoed a bill to outlaw all hemp in Texas, because 80% of his voters are Trumpers, and they would have freaked out if he banned hemp, because it's their only access to THC, even though it's cooked in a lab. So we're waiting for federal regulation. And I don't know if you guys heard, Trump started talking last week on Truth Social. He broadcasted to all his followers about hemp CBD and how it could help to the elderly people, and it could really change America, the health of elderly people. And then he would put it in Medicare, blah, blah, blah. But that's coming from Bobby Kennedy. And then 2 days later, the FDA came out with a re-evaluation of CBD safety, the safety of CBD, because I don't know if you all know, back in 2018, the crooked illegal FDA deemed CBD unsafe. And up until then, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, you name it, everyone was going to do hemp CBD drinks and food. And the FDA used some a very conservative college study with rats, giving the rats 50,000 milligrams of CBD, and it damaged their liver. Well, if you did that with vitamin C, vitamin D, it would probably damage your liver also. However, there was 100 studies showing that CBD actually regenerated your liver, and it would help your liver, especially if you had cirrhosis in the liver. So we all complained back then and said, wait a sec, there's 100 studies showing it's good for the liver, and you're taking these 2 studies. Of course, the other one came from GW Pharmaceutical. So I know I'm spitfiring all this, but there's so much that was happened. And so now we know the FDA illegally deemed CBD unsafe to protect it from GW Pharma. But now they're going to reevaluate the safety. I mean, you can go to Walmart, you can go to Walgreens, you can go to Save On, and you can buy hemp CBD lotion, creams, salves,
Right.
but you can't buy the edible. And if you're Walmart or CVS and you sold a edible CBD product and someone got sick and they sued you, you could lose millions of dollars because the plaintiff would say, look, at the FDA said this was unsafe and you're selling it. So we need to change that language. And what it's going to do, it's just going to bring back, if they can say it's safe, I'm kind of.
Who do we have on the inside, Chris? Who do we have on the inside stewarding this? You know,
we've got a crew of people in there. Bobby Kennedy's kind of behind it, but he's not the mouthpiece on this right now because they don't want to damage the momentum. You know, so he's using Trump to talk about it. But hopefully, the FDA will speak volumes when they come out with this new study, and it will help the farmer. You know, we used to grow hundreds and hundreds of acres. Now, I don't know if you can see my field. We're down to like 2 acres. And we're the last hemp farmer in the county. And it's been decimated. And like I said.
Is that a law? Is that a Newsom law or?
What, the Newsom law?
Go, Vivian.
Hey, Chris?
Yeah.
It's Vivian.
Hey, Vivian.
Hey, Murray, brother. I can see you're outstanding in your field. You know, obviously this impacts farmers, processors, and retailers, and you know, they're looking at investment losses and stuff. There are potentially some like constitutional challenges of due process, equal protection, maybe commerce clause. Is anybody challenging the California law in court yet?
Yeah. So Hemp Roundtable, I was a plaintiff back in December. We sued Gavin Newsom in the state of California in state court. And the problem was Hemp Roundtable, they switched from fiber and grain and CBD to THC because it costs $50,000 to join the Hemp Roundtable. So you've got all these millionaires that are paying them. And so when we went to court, you know, the judge is looking at the plaintiffs, Cheech and Chong, Snoop Dogg, and he's like, what the hell is this, you know? And so you've got one of the most powerful hemp lobby groups that now has switched over to hemp THC because that's where their money is. They're lawyers. So, you know, a hemp farmer growing grain or fiber isn't going to cough up, you know, $30,000, $40,000 to the Hemp Roundtable. And they're like, well, who else is going to pay? Oh, the hemp THC guys. And there's a loophole in the law, but it's almost like the house next door is on fire. My house is going to catch on fire because they won't put it out. Like, you're going to put this fire out or my house is going to burn down. And that's what's happening across the whole country. And like I said, one of the most powerful hemp lobby groups has now switched over to intoxicating hemp THC. And it's not even coming from the plant, man. It's not extracted out of it's cooked up in a lab. And it's a tough one to debate because these people will just crush you online. Oh, you're a prohibitionist. You don't want it. It's no. You're calling this thing hemp, and you're cooking CBD in a lab and making THC, and you're making Delta 8, you're making HHOC. So it's complicated and frustrating.
The laboratory of nature produces the most safe and robust substances, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, hemp derived, if the word derived wasn't in there, it would be illegal. And then at the same time, you know, the labs control the market. All these labs control the whole hemp cannabinoid market. They're the extractors. They're the ones that beat down the farmer on biomass. We'll give you $1 a pound. Well, it costs me $2 a pound to grow it. Why would I sell it to you for $1? And so they wait for everybody to, you know, that's got, you know, tons and tons of biomass. and they can't sell it, and they come back in and go, I'll give you $1 a pound. I mean, it's horrendous how I never thought it would come out this way, but it is.
Chris, are these hemp-derived THC products, are they largely unregulated? Are they checked for contaminants like solvents and heavy metals and pesticides? Do you know?
Nope. Now, I do a hemp food, so, I have to test full panel. So all these Snoop Dogg and Cheech and Chong products, I mean, when you put 20 milligrams of THC into a gummy, you're going to get high as a kite, man. I mean, some people will. And you don't even know if it's been tested for heavy metals because it's cooked in a lab. And some of them say, what we're doing was a muckraking and make some kind of soup out of the plant. And, there's just so many. And these guys are making millions of dollars a month, so they've got the money to fight. And we even had people in Sacramento during this AB8 battle, and all the politicians are just looking at these people going, you guys are selling THC, it's not hemp. Why do you keep on insisting? Well, the federal law says derived. So when you're making that much money, some people will do anything. I mean, anything. And so they're burning down my house, and I don't know what to do, but I'm just going to continue growing hemp. So hopefully in DC with Bobby in charge, I think I told you guys, I grew up with Bobby, David, Max. I'm from Hyannisport. I won't get into the whole thing. So Bobby's little brother was our dealer back in the day. He dealt hash and acid and all that. So in 1993, I made some hemp T-shirts for Bobby, River Keepers. He knew about hemp, and I said, hey, I want you to meet some people. So I introduced Bobby to Jack Herring, Captain Ed in 93, and Jack gave him a signed copy of The Emperor Wears No Clothes. And there's actually a picture of Kennedy and Jack at the airport. And the next day, Captain Ed and Jack were flying up to San Francisco, and they're in the airport, and they hear somebody going, Captain Ed, Captain Ed. And it's Bobby running down the hallway, going, hey, guys. And there's a picture of them floating around. I've been trying to get it. Brenda has it. So he's very familiar with hemp.
So my question, Chris, and to the panel here is, it's time. What are we waiting for? There's 30 plus states that are legalized for medical and some for recreational. And we already know that marijuana is safer than alcohol, everybody. And there's still people in jail for marijuana. And so it's time. Why don't we just push the button? It's not complicated. It's not complex. Are they making it complex so they can roll out the hemp for themselves to make more money? Do they want to roll it out before they bring our prisoners home?
So yes, we got prisoners in other countries that, other countries put you in jail for years just for a joint. We got to think about those people that are in the other prisons too. Here, the DEA keeps on, bubbling the football. I guess the hearings for the descheduling, it's pretty controversial, but they keep delaying it because you get some people in there that are saying, oh, if you legalize marijuana, it's going to corrupt our society or something. I mean, there's still that mentality.
You mean reefer madness is still something? I mean, look, BMW is making car doors out of the hemp for 20 years or 10 years already.
Yeah, it's complicated, but for the hemp and the CBD, the best thing we could do is to bypass Congress, bypass everybody, because it's already legal. And the FDA, if they change their wording saying, hey, CBD is actually safe, it repairs your liver, it repairs your organs. And even Dumpy Trumpy, Captain Red, whatever, I shouldn't be calling people names. After he posted that hemp CBD was going to help all the elderly people in America,
right?
He posted a 5-slide scientific endocannabinoid system. And it showed how the EC system works. And it's the future of medicine. I was like, holy shit. I thought this was fake. I was up Sunday night going, is this, AI or what? But yeah, after he posted it, he posted the endocannabinoid system scientific slide deck. Well, he didn't post, somebody else did. So
Hello.
to me,
Hang on.
that is something going on, And then
Hang
2
on.
days later, the FDA decides to reevaluate the safety, because we fought the FDA back when they said it's not safe. And like, how can you say this? Here's like 100 peer-reviewed science published articles saying how great it is, and you're using a right-wing Christian college rat study, and you're using GW Pharmaceuticals. They were testing all the little kids and babies' liver. All these little kids and babies were dying. They're on 50 different pills. And of course their livers aren't going to be good,
Hey, Chris,
So, yeah.
Vivian, again, you know
Yeah.
what bothers me is that we're talking about hemp-derived THC and CBD and stuff when we really need industrial hemp for climate change mitigation and all of the myriad, hempcrete and biodegradable hemp plastics and on and on and on and on. And this is like derailing all of that.
It's undermining it for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just regenerating the soil. I've got 2 acres here, and we're regenerating the soil.
Stay with us.
Stay with us. The soil.
I can't pop. I'll be back. But I got to get over. I'm traveling.
Hang on just a minute. Hey, you guys, hold on just a minute, you guys. I got Paul Stanford on the line. Paul, you just came from a conference with 100 scientists. Tell us a little bit about the goodness of hemp and marijuana.
Well, there were 100 different presentations, a lot of them about mothers and babies, and the results were, it didn't cause harm, didn't cause lower birth weight. There were a lot of different issues addressed: industrial hemp, the different cannabinoids, the terpenes. And I could only attend a small fraction of the sessions because they had a lot of concurrent sessions. So it lasted 3 days. So anyways, just wrapping up right now.
Okay, well, we'll let you go. We just need cooperation and we need collaboration and some of those incredible scientists to speak up, in Congress and before, Chris is telling us what's going on exactly, with the government. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
And you can come back in if you want later.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, bye. So everybody, that was our beautiful Paul Stanford, and he's down in Oregon, and they had a 3-day conference with scientists, over 100 scientists. And like I said at the beginning, I was a little bit upset that I didn't get to go, but that's okay. I'm on my way to Peru, everybody, to do another plant medicine journey. But we're focused on our industry and why the industry is still so greedy and why everybody is still following the 1937 paradigm that weed is wacky and dangerous.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah, it's very, very amazing. What tell us a little bit about CBA, Chris, how you get it and the goodness of your product, so we can help you to teach the planet that marijuana is not scary and no one should be in jail for a plant.
Well, we're doing something really unique. It's taken a couple years to develop. We're cold pressing our fresh leaves and immature flower. We harvest our plants early for the most moisture content in the flower and in the leaf. And then we take our cold pressed juice and we immediately run a lipolysation, a special freeze dry process. And it takes about 24 hours just to turn liquid juice into powder. And basically it's super condensed, where 100 gallons or 100 pounds of juice condenses down to 6 pounds of powder. So we're able to load 25 to 30 milligrams of CBDA per gram, which is almost unheard of in a sense. And lipolization is like astronaut food, military food. It's, it came from that sector of science. It's 95% bioavailable. So from everything I know and all the literature I read and peer review, this is probably the most bioavailable CBDA, cannabidolic acid, you can get. I mean, you feel it. You drink a glass of it, and within 5 minutes, you can feel it hit your serotonin. I mean, what it does is the CBDA activates your 5-HT1 receptor, which is your serotonin receptor in your gut. 90% of your serotonin is produced in your stomach, not your brain. So gut to brain health is the future. So we've been able to really super condense these acidic cannabinoids, and it stabilizes the phytocannabinoids, the acidic cannabinoids, when you use a lipolization process.
So that's the way. That's the way that that's the way that you're super freeze drying it. That you're extracting it.
Yes, we have a lipolization process that we use that's very similar to freeze drying, but it's done at a different scale, large scale. I mean, to do it in your house, it would, you could do your own doses, but it would definitely be a challenge. But it's just super concentrated. So a gram is like, eating, a quarter pound of cannabis in terms of bioavailability.
And what are you using for sweetener and to make your juice powder palatable and delicious?
So we do a couple different flavors. We do a natural, which is 100% juice powder, and then we do there's a rabbit. We do monk fruit. We sweeten it with monk fruit.
Monk fruit, okay, that's
yeah,
cool.
that's kind of our thing. And then we have a raw cacao hemp mixture. And then we have a lemon, like raw lemon juice powder. And all these powders are lipolization. So it's a superfood of superfoods.
So is it to support your immune system to stay healthy, or can people that are weak and need tell us a little bit about why I would want to drink Juicetiva?
If you have any anxiety or depression, you're going to activate your serotonin receptor, and you're going to feel it immediately. Within 3 to 4 days, maybe 5 days of taking it, you could really get off of some of these SSIs people are in. But you got to take it every day, just like anything else. And so our theory is that that's the first thing you feel. You feel that right away after drinking it. Some people are like, am I getting high? What do I feel? It's your serotonin being activated. And then on top of that, inflammation. We've had a lot of women that we sell it all over the country, and we've gotten a lot of testimonials and feedback. And one of the big ones was a lot of younger women were saying they had endometriosis and really bad PMS, like they couldn't work, go to school, devastating. They were in bed and nothing worked. And like they were taking the powder for other reasons, but they noticed that their endometriosis basically dissipated like 90%. It was like the best they felt in years. And we're like, okay, what's going on there? So CBD is about 100 times more anti-inflammatory than CBD. So CBDA is raw, fresh CBD. And it's just a much more potent, it's a higher quality cannabinoid. Acidic cannabinoids operate different, but still.
Kim, say hello to Chris and ask him a question. I see you going there.
Yeah, where is it available?
You go to juicetiva.com. If you use Hemp World capital letters as a discount, juicetiva.com. We just got kicked out of the last 6 months, like 100 co-ops and health food stores in California, because Newsom, I just can't believe he outlawed hemp THC 0.3.
That's horrible.
so
That's horrible.
threatened a lot of stores, like, we'll shut you down if you sell any hemp cannabinoids unless it's isolate. And this isn't the FDA. This isn't coming from the conservative right wing. This is coming from a very liberal governor who basically somehow teamed up with the marijuana industry. And I get it. They're losing money because, why do you want to go into a dispensary and get hemp THC gummies and THC drinks when you're at the local store and you can pick up a loaf of bread and some soda, beer, then get some THC. It's conveniency. So, but that's ended. But yeah, it's such a trade-off that it's sad.
So it's
But yeah,
juicekeeper.com.
juicekeeper.com.
Okay.
And the half pound is the best deal. I mean, we do the 30-day, but you get a half pound, it's like.
And what was the code? What was the code?
Hemp World, capital letters, Hemp World.
Okay, let me
put the half pound's the deal. That's like $10 a bag if you compare it to buying the 30-day bag. But now in California, I have to reduce it down to 5 servings per bag because we have a 30 serving per bag, which is illegal now in California. So I don't know how they're going to enforce it online, but. And you shake it up and you can mix it into one of your drinks. You can put it in your water. I mean, I take it as a medicine. I just shake it in a bottle and down it. And it really resets your circadian rhythm because it activates your endocannabinoid system. And you got to understand it. I would say the most important thing about it, it's bioavailable. I don't care how much CBD you take. If it's in an oil or a lipid form, you're only going to get about 20% bioavailability. Even if you do sublingual, oils are not bioavailable. And even some of the water-soluble CBD, that's an isolate. They like do a liposomal type, which is okay. That's better. That's about 30-40%. But when you start doing freeze-dried lipolyzation cannabinoids, they absorb right away.
What's the discount code again? I'll put it up on the
Hemp World, capital letters, Hemp World.
All capital letters?
Yep.
Hemp World. Okay, everybody.
But yeah,
can I just say, Chris, I really am impressed by all the things that you have hemping in, and I'm definitely empathetic to the way you're raising the temperature. And it's not hemporary, but it is exemplary. And sorry, I couldn't help myself.
I wanted you to do the intro to my book. I'm writing a book on hemp juicing and hemp leaf foods.
You know how to hemp present, bro. You know how to hemp present, and you're definitely making hempstry.
Yeah, we've developed this thing. I shouldn't really talk about too much, but we can remove the chlorophyll out of the hemp leaf. So the cannabis has the highest content and unique form of chlorophyll than all the other green leaves in the plant kingdom. I'm sure we all know that, but if we can successfully be able to, remove or extract the chlorophyll out of the leaves, and you know how people buy chlorophyll. I mean, this is amazing. The leaf has more food and nutrition than the seed, than the entire plant. For some reason, it was just really never studied that much, and it was always written off as a drug. But a lot of the baby leaf and immature flower are just loaded with omegas and nutrients and cannabinoids, and it's the food that we're trying to. We could feed the world with hemp leaf food, or even flour, like immature, like 3-4 week old flour is beautiful for food.
And marijuana takes less water than cotton, correct?
Yeah, 3 to 1. But a hemp T-shirt consumes about 800 gallons of water. For a man's large white cotton T-shirt, that's about 800 gallons of water, and a hemp cotton T-shirt's about 300 gallons. I don't know if
Wait,
that's accurate.
Using cannabis for this, using hemp, all of this hemp for this hemp-derived THC is a waste of it. You can get plenty of great THC from euphoric cannabis. This stuff should be used for health and industry and all of these other things. It's a waste of the plant. Do you agree?
Totally agree. I mean, when did we start cooking cannabinoids in the lab? That's a pharma thing. That's pharmaceutical.
It's
I mean,
freebase.
the isolate, there's called medical farming or pharma farming. A lot of herbs, they do isolates, whether it's a CBD isolate or other natural herbs that they separate by molecular weight to be able to get something that's 99% pure. But once you do that, you lose the entourage effect. And somebody taught me a while way back that when you read all the peer-reviewed science reports, half of them I don't understand. But what I do understand, the only way to get peer-reviewed published science, you have to use pure 99% CBD. So you can see cause and effect. If there's other cannabinoids in there, you don't know if that's reacting or not. And if you'll notice, they're using like 300 to 500 milligrams of isolate to get the same entourage effect as like 40 to 60 milligrams of full spectrum. And because it's not bioavailable and it doesn't interact, but yeah, the efficacy of full spectrum and plant extract is so much better. Are you going to squeeze an orange and drink the juice, or are you going to take a vitamin C pill? Which one's going to be more effective? Yeah, if you don't have oranges, maybe the pill will work.
So you're telling my public here, everybody, that Justiva is CBA, okay, and that's CBDA, and that's derived in the young plant. I'm paraphrasing from what I'm learning.
Well, I'll catch you right there. It's in the green, fresh plant. When the plant starts dying, or when you start curing it, or when you extract it, it oxidizes in the CBDA. It's like when you cut an apple that's nice and fresh.
Right.
Within a couple hours, it starts to turn brown and oxidizes, and so that's basically what CBD is. It oxidizes and it breaks down. CBDA breaks down the CBD.
So
like
for us old timers here, I call us OGs, old grandmas, old gals, and old guys. OGs. So for us OGs, using your Justiva would be a remarkable daily activity to just prolong our life and help us to have a more quality of gut health.
Gut to brain health, and all your gut to brain health and the bioactive medicine of CBDA is just pretty powerful. So, if it's inflammation, you have a swollen ankle, swollen gut, people with certain inflammation, it works really well. Like I said, endometriosis, we've been having like huge. I mean, we can't really say that because it's illegal to make a medical claim.
No, but other people can give you testimonials. Other people, like I can't say this works or that works on my show, but I can bring somebody on that says my son was healed with, Charlotte's Web or something like that.
Yeah, we just can't put it on our website. You could talk about it anywhere else, but if it's in literature, it's a tough one. But at the end of the day, it's the hemp leaf and the hemp flower, the immature flower, are the food of the future. And we're also doing there's a butterfly in here. Oh my God. We're doing these super greens, baby young fresh hemp leaves. So young hemp leaves really have a different flavor than an older leaf. It's got way more moisture, it's softer, it's not as bitter.
Chris, turn your video back on.
Okay, let me see.
Now we're talking. Now we
what do I do?
Wait,
Where do you put the video?
Show us your dome. There you go. Whoa, nice going. Everybody,
these are donor plants. What we're doing now, though, we're making feminized seed. I'm a seed breeder, and we basically my greenhouse here, and you walk outside. Can you see the field?
Yep.
How many plants you got, Chris?
We've got about 4,500 plants per acre,
Nice.
almost 5,000. We're going 24 inches on center. And we don't plant until July. I wait till July to plant, July and August. So, yeah. And then we just planted 10 acres down at the border near Brawley or El Centro. And we're going to do a fall crop. And everyone says, you can't grow hemp in the fall. Well, you sure can. And what happens is they're smaller plants, but they revegetate. And have you ever seen a revegetated bud? Have you guys seen a revegetated bud?
What do I got? Is mine revegetated?
No, a reveg.
Hemp, hooray, everybody.
What are the qualities and characteristics of a revegetated bud, Chris?
Super juice bud. Baby leaves, little baby leaves. That bud just starts spinning, and you get all the revegetative growth inside the bud, and it makes such a great juice.
So everybody use.
But hey, I got to roll. I'm got some guys from the Czech Republic coming over here right now. They grow hemp in Czechoslovakia, and
so everybody go to juictiva.com. On my show, episode 283, we're on Weeds Day. Go to my show and get some Juictiva and give it to your granny, give it to yourself, give it to your children. Can children have Juictiva?
oh yeah, totally. I got people that give it to their little kids that have ADD. They're like, oh my God, my kid's off of SSIs or Ritalin. It definitely calms people's brain down. You know, serotonin is kind of like the big issue we have in our society. But if you guys order anything, I will definitely throw a bunch of samples in. I'll throw some of the cacao. I do a hemp spirulina. I'll set you up and appreciate it. But I definitely got a roll here.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Everybody, we're gonna give Chris a little bit of applause here. So thank you, Chris, for joining us today. Thanks, Paul Stanford, for being a voice of reason. I've got the hierarchy here, everybody. It's episode 283. Any final words, Chris? What would you tell the world out there that your dream is?
Well, number one, we got to get people out of prison around the world, just not United States. There's people serving life sentences for cannabis in other countries too. At the same time, I think the big thing is we got to legalize the hemp cannabinoids, the food, the endocannabinoid system. I mean, everyone's talking about building and which is great, textiles, but hemp acidic cannabinoids are they're nutrition. It's not even a medicine. And if we can start changing the narrative that this is not the cure-all, but it is the new direction of gut to brain health. And we need phytocannabinoids and we need bioactive, the whole health industry's changed. And so here's the best product you could take in the sense, So we got to get it back into the nutrition and change the FDA's opinion it's not safe. So that's the big, it's like the opinion of the FDA, and I hate saying this, is they said CBD is unsafe. But then they said red dye number 5, we can put in kids' candy and give them cancer. Someone needs to go to prison for that. You're putting people in prison for, and I hate saying that, I don't want anyone to go to prison, but if you're giving my kid cancer and it gives them cancer and you're putting it in our food, something's really wrong, really wrong. And I've been a vegetarian for 25 years, vegan for 10, raw food for a few years, on and off, but we've always known all the poisons in our food, and I think that's the most important thing. We got to.
Well, remember what Buckminster Fuller said: "Less is more."
Yes.
Less is more.
Get rid of these sugars, aspartame. I mean, I looked at all the people chewing gum every day and candy. It's loaded with aspartame. I mean, it's just insane what we're putting in our body, but
Thank you so much,
Anyhow.
Chris, for joining us today. We honor you. We love you. I'll get you a late night, and I'll see you afterwards. Have fun with your check.
awesome. Love you guys. Peace. Thank you.
Have fun with your check, people. Checks and balances. Okay, that was Chris, everybody. And Chris, before you go, can you give us 3 fingers? Give us 3 fingers. Everybody, 3 fingers. Okay, 3. Here we go. Go. Cool. Okay, got it. Thank you, Chris. Peace out. So we'll go around the horn, and then I'll do my intro, which I never did, and you guys can stick around for that. We have Richard Lee also that we're honoring in the next couple weeks at his memorial. Vivian, what do you know about Richard Lee?
Oh, Richard Lee was a great activist and philanthropist who founded the Oster Dam, and he had overcome, being put in a wheelchair, and was very generous in supplying funds to various campaigns, and pretty much an
Didn't he
icon.
teach over like 100,000 people with graduation of studying marijuana?
He operated the greatest cannabis university, and he's an icon in the California cannabis movement.
Amazing.
And was a friend, and it's a big loss.
It's totally a big loss. Well, Richard Lee is in my intro, and he's going to be very well missed, but we're glad to have him, and all that stuff. As we get older, what did our mothers tell us, or our grandmothers? That as you get older, you're going to start losing your close friends. So drink your Juictiva, everybody. Hemp World is the discount, 10 or 15 or 20% off, and you can reach Chris through me, everybody. And Kim, tell us a little bit about your excitement and what you're doing next.
Well, I'm doing the appearance at Sugarmint Gallery in South Pasadena on Saturday, and doing a bunch of podcasts and stuff. And just love to all of your viewers, and herb is the healing of the nation.
Fantastic. Any final words, Vivian?
Yes, there's only one struggle, and if you're not resisting, you're assisting. So pick at least one thing and get active in the resistance.
Okay, final words, Kim, to the children.
Yeah, herb is the healing of the nation. One love.
Okay, I'm gonna go out with our little 4-minute video here. Everybody, stick around, and it's really cool what I got today. Let me open up my my Finder here, my QuickTime. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Okay, boom. Is this what I wanted? Hang on just a minute. Let's pause this for a second, everybody. Let's go. Boom, file, open recent, 283. There it is. Okay, cool. All right, here we go. Everybody, it's been a great show, and enjoy this dedication.
And parade. This is Tommy Chong for Lifers Madness.
I'm Amy Koval.
And I'm Jeff Pizanski.
And we're for LifersTheMovie.com. Free the plant, free the prisoners.
Free the plant, free the prisoners. Free the planet, free the prisoners.
Free the plant, free the prisoners.
I've been in prisons filming lifers. As Jeff Mazansky, I filmed him, and 3 months later, he came home. We got 300,000 signatures, everybody. We can do this.
So share this movie and share your thoughts and keep the conversation going. Jeff Eichen for lifersamovie.com. Blessings. To end this war on people.
Parade. Today we remember all the people left in jail, in prison, in the slammer for marijuana. Please, let's end prohibition this lifetime and not get caught up in rhetoric. Stay focused and look out for our concert. We're going to do it. I promise you. Hemp Hemp Hooray. Enjoy the show. Been a wonderful. Be gentle with yourself, the people around you, and speak your truth. And just know that the dragon is here. Puff the Magic Dragon. I got that this weekend. And there's beautiful things to be told and shared with the world. I met this guy, 102. He was brilliant and beautiful. And just stay healthy, everybody. It's important to eat right and to minimize your gluten intake. I do bread every once in a while. And just be beautiful, everybody. 102. Hemp Hemp Hooray, everybody. We had a great time at Kinetics this weekend. It was wonderful. And it's been a great show. We just need to end prohibition. And marijuana is way safer than alcohol. So be careful what you take. And good afternoon, everybody. Less is more. On. Dab, dab, dab. I think we're going to have a wonderful show today. We're going to welcome we did. Stash Wagner family. Don't bogart that joint from the Philippines. Thank you. And don't forget to donate to their cause and welcoming them home fund. So that's cool. We have a nice GoFundMe site for them. And everybody else in the universe, let's end prohibition today. You can scan that for Stash and his family. They're still getting their feet off the ground. They moved to America. He wrote the song. Everybody. Don't bogart that joint. Hemp, and let's have a round table today. We've got Chris Boucher and some out-of-towners coming in to step up and give their take on what's going on in the world and why we're not winning the battle. Some things are moving forward and some things are staying and actually moving backwards. So everybody, hemp, hemp, hooray. And let's have a great show today. And again, don't forget to donate to our concert fund and to Stash Wagner. We love the Stash. Peace from the Middle East. We'll be honoring Richard Lee in San Francisco Bay Area on November 9th, I believe. So keep tuned with them. And it's in loving memory, this show, for all the fallen from the hemp and the marijuana industry. Let's make hemp crete. Let's make hemp boards. Let's make hemp fabric. Let's make hemp houses. And let's stop the madness. And let's not forget Jack Herer, the father of the movement. Oh, my Papa and Baja, I miss you. It's been my pleasure today to assist you, everybody. Your host, Jeff Eichen. We had Vivian. We had all the usual suspects.
Baked up a fresh knuckle sandwich if anybody wants one.
Jeff Eichen here, host with the most. Let's get it on.
1, 2, 3. Hemp, hemp, hooray!
It's time. No more silence, everybody. Stand up. I was at the wall this last couple weeks that traveled around the country. It was the Vietnam Memorial Wall, and that's one of my photographs when they painted it orange with light for Agent Orange. There's PTSD out there, and marijuana assists with that. Justiva probably. You just heard the serotonin. That helps the serotonin. So it's just really beautiful to get some Justiva in your life. And I'm going to come out of here and say goodbye to our guests. And so Kim, thank you. We love you. We love having the goddess on. And OG Ogal and OG Vivian McPeak, old guy, and me. I'm an old gangster. And you know, it's not about who we met, who we did, who we miss. It's about our legacy and making this frickin' plant the answer. That's all I got. Hemp Hooray, everybody. See you on campus. And Vivian, pleasure. Kim, pleasure. Keep going and roll them if you got one, everybody. And teach the children to be gentle with themselves. We have an undisclosed generation or two that are scared, and they have reason to be. But as stewards of love, light, honor, and happiness, just help the children right now. Hold your kids, hold your animals, and like Chris says, grow beautiful food. Marijuana can save global warming. Peace out, everybody. And to all your prisoners in there, we're coming for you. Love you. Good night. God bless and good day.
Recording stop.
Okay, everybody, it's Jeff Refresh. And so we are converting, and now we're going to come back to us here. Boing. So we're going to remove that. We're going to remove that. Okay, so let's go right into me. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today and for being with us. It's Jeff Eichen from WEEDSDAYS. It was a great show today, and we're sorry we froze in the middle there, but we did a little bit. And so do what you can to help to end prohibition, and listen to Chris. Chris was telling us about Newsom and Ohio that are rolling back and making, I guess, hemp illegal, and that hurts his business. He was dissed out of 100 stores, he said. So hemp hooray, everybody. And Richard Lee, we honor you too, from Oaksterdam. Good night. God bless. Or spirit. It was a Jewish holidays this week. We had Sukkot, and we had all of our Rosh Hashanah. So hemp hooray, everybody.